So I get a lot of questions about this. You may have seen it in some of my videos. It usually sits in the middle of the bars on my motorcycle. It's called the Beeline Moto. It pairs with your phone and gives you directions. It's been my go-to GPS for over a year now. I tried the whole phone mount thing, but this lets me focus on the ride with minimal distractions. The only problem is, the UI can be kind of confusing when you're navigating intricate routes, but recently Beeline sent me this, the new Beeline Moto 2. They've really taken this thing to the next level, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on some of the updates and tell you a little bit about how it works. So let's dive in. Okay, so in the box you get the Moto 2 device, a universal mount, a charger, and the quick start guide. The Moto 2 comes in 3 finishes: black, gunmetal grey, and silver. Gunmetal grey and silver are the metal editions, so you do get a little bit of extra quality there. In terms of pricing, the black edition is $219.99 USD, the gunmetal grey edition is $249.99 USD, and the silver edition is also $249.99 USD. The charger and the quick start guide are kind of self-explanatory, but the universal mount is kind of cool. It uses these bands to wrap around the bars, so it's easy to take on and off, especially if you have multiple bikes. And when you're riding, it doesn't move. I've never felt like it's going to fall off, even while riding over bumps or in dirt. Straight off the bat, I can tell the screen is bigger. Beeline says it's been doubled, and there's significantly less glare in sunlight. The device also looks sleeker, with the buttons now integrated into the frame instead of sticking out like the old model. To pair the device, it's pretty much the same process as the original Beeline Moto. All you have to do is just download the app and follow the instructions. Once it's paired, we can start planning our route and we can navigate. The app is super easy to use and it's packed full of features. You can plan out your route by dropping pins on the map, you can search for locations, or you can import a GPX route if you have one. Once you've planned out your route, there are 3 riding modes: Fast, which will give you the fastest motorcycle-friendly route; Fun, which will give you those smooth, curvy, scenic roads; and Compass, which basically just points an arrow in the general direction you should be heading, and you can just carve your path from there. My most used riding mode is Fast, just because I typically want to get to my destination as quickly as possible, and then from there I'll start exploring. But I've used Fun mode a few times, when I've mainly just wanted to enjoy the ride, and it works pretty well. My favourite new feature has got to be the turn-by-turn navigation. On the previous model, it was mainly an arrow with different indicators for exits or roundabouts, but with the Beeline Moto 2, we get to see the path ahead and the roads around us as we ride, just like we would a normal GPS. The screen also responds nicely to the turns, and it's easy to tell what path I need to follow from the line drawn ahead. Highway riding isn't an issue either. The turn-by-turn navigation makes it easy to tell when you need to exit, as well as the new LED light that flashes when you approach either a junction, a turn, or an exit. On top of that, there's also an audio beep that will sound whenever you approach an exit, junction, or turning. The beep is kind of hard to hear when you're moving at high speeds, but Beeline have added an option so you can hear the beep from your headphones or audio device if you have one connected to your phone. You can hit up or down to move between different views as you ride, and the buttons are easy to use even with gloves on. You can just tell they've really thought about the details with this new model. Each view is simple and easy to understand, so you can glance at it as you ride, but all your attention can be on the road. I also really like how Beeline have added some colour to the screen. Like when I hold the top button, I can end my ride and the edge of the screen shows the progress in red. It's a nice touch. Moving through the views, we have navigation, which is the mini-map you'll use to navigate most of the time. Journey progress, which tells us your distance to destination, ETA, and time. Speedo, which I've used a few times to double check that my bike speedometer is accurate. Ride info, which basically gives the distance and time we've covered on the ride. Battery, which shows both the device and my phone's battery. That's a nice feature when I haven't had the chance to get my phone out of my pocket for a long time. And finally, ride menu, where we can end the ride, stop the ride, or skip waypoints. The Moto 2 also works internationally. Most recently I used it while riding in Japan and it didn't skip a beat. In fact, it's safe to say I wouldn't have found my way around if it wasn't for the Moto 2. And while traveling internationally, it's nice to know my phone won't run out of battery because I'm not using it to navigate. Speaking of battery, The Moto 2 has a 600 mAh battery, which Beeline says will last over 11 hours. The Beeline Moto 2 now also charges through USB-C, which means there's no need for proprietary cables. And Beeline is also releasing a charging mount so the device can charge while riding, alongside a bunch of other mounts and accessories to fit every rider and their bike. Now thankfully I haven't had to experience too much rain with the Moto 2 myself, but if I did, it's waterproof. So I can safely say it will keep you on track even through wet rides. And Beeline have told me that any water damage will be covered by warranty. The Moto 2's warranty lasts for 1 year, and Beeline say they'll honour a replacement unit if needed, so you know if anything goes wrong with the device, you can get back on the road ASAP. There's also a subscription service called Beeline Plus, which includes audio directions and a round-trip generator, which basically creates a route based on waypoints you want to visit. I used the free trial to test it out, and the audio directions are a nice addition, especially if you want to be sure you don't miss any exits or turns. It's $4.99 a month, and I can see myself paying for a month if I have a bunch of trips lined up, but you'd probably be fine without it. Beeline are always updating the app and device with features, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves over time. Most recently, Beeline introduced road codes at complex junctions and improved ride progress and navigation screens. Overall, it feels like Beeline have listened to the community's feedback and made some solid improvements since the last model. So that's the Beeline Moto 2. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks again to Beeline for sponsoring this video. And with that, enjoy the ride.